Alrighty then, we've arrived at the town, which gave us a most hearting warm welcome by showing us the hangman tree. Right, I feel at home already. So yeah, there was a whole bunch of things to see, including of course different areas. But I say we go to the inn first, because that would make sense. Because that's probably how the story gets progressed a bit. Let's first see if this guy has
Were
anything to
you
say.
looking for someone in that tree? I could introduce you.
The guy has a sense of humor, but I'll go with looking for anyone who can help me feel better. He gives an understanding nod as he takes a long drag from his pipe. My condolences. He exhales and turns his attention away, watching the village around him. Well, that was helpful. I'm guessing this used to be the old temple, huh? Doesn't look to be in a fine condition anymore. Beneath the vines are crude carvings of a sun rising over 3 stars. The Temple of Eophas. Hopefully they don't mind if I pick the herb out of this garden. Found a way to move on, I guess. But let's get into the inn and see what's been going on. You see 4 people gathered by the door to the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises his hands for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggest an elf.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
This guy has offended them in some way, hasn't
Hoping
he?
to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
Let's say what's going on. One of the other men points at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused. Mocking us even while he shelters in our village. Just goes to show what these fancy Edir manners are worth. We don't take to that kind of treatment. Not from foreigners, and especially not from Adirans.
Go on. Say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
This is what you get when people start drinking.
Why, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksfeather!
Well, that was a difference in behavior from him.
I'll cut that barrel-licking tongue out of your head.
A collective cry of outrage rises from the 3 locals. The second man snarls up.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said.
He plants his
We've
feet.
nigh quarrel.
Oh god, it's a dude with a split personality disorder, isn't it?
That's where you're wrong.
I don't think attacking him is such a good idea. Considering the guy has a split personality disorder, that would be the best thing to do. The free drunk scholar. And why is that? Because you have to deal with me? If someone's baiting you as obviously as he is, it's generally wisest to walk away. I'm not gonna challenge these guys, I'm just gonna do this. They look at each other. One of them men gives the other 2 a warning shake of his head before turning to you. We're done for now, but this one better watch his step around here, because we're not going away. Anyway, not going anywhere. With a final scowl at the elf, he turns to leave. As the 3 stumble away, the elf turns to you, the tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation.
You're welcome.
Courtesy is a rare pleasure in these parts. though your accent suggests that you are no more local than I.
We got a Captain Obvious here. We got a real Sherlock here. How'd you figure that out? He straightens his hood and you note the remains of fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath is sturdy and fine.
Well, I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvisor, at your service.
How did you manage to get stuck out here? He laughs uncomfortably. That is something of a long story. I have the time.
Well, I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I am grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land.
He's got probably more than that behind it all.
And how exactly did you come to be here?
I was traveling with a caravan, but we were separated near some ruins.
In Gwithan ruins? Oh, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. In half the locals would arrest you for trespassing, and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there?
Several hooded figures operating a strange machine. That was among what I saw. Alof goggles at you silently, apparently assessing your earnestness. Finally, he gives you a clipped, awkward laugh.
You do manage to find yourself in rather interesting predicaments.
What are you doing in Gilded
An
Vale?
excellent question. I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. But I take it that's a familiar tale.
Yeah, I've heard similar things. So we've both been given the Gilded Vale greetment, basically. Not the pleasant of them. And you? Like you said, I'm also a Like you said, I've been experiencing strange things of late. I'm looking for an expert on souls. Well, he seems to be a wizard kind of guy, so he might be able to help me out.
Indeed. The local lord has searched far and wide for similar specialists. He has rid himself of them almost as desperately.
You know how to ignore a little tree in the center of town. Yeah, it's kind of like, let's say, the landmark of this place, isn't it? His darting glance takes in the tumble-down building and the fallow, rock-strewn fields. I expect that such expertise would be best sought elsewhere. Just how did you manage to cross those freed drunks?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
You did tell the one man to go fuck his sister. Ah, that. He clears his throat and adjusts his sleeve. As I try to tell them, they misheard me. Happens all too easily after a few pints, and the accent doesn't help. I heard the same thing. Just for a moment, he looks as if he's about to say something else. His expression brightens with mischief, but before he can speak, he forces a tight smile, biting his lips so hard you expect to see blood. Finally, his face relaxes, and he shakes his head. I should speak more clearly next time. My apologies. You don't exactly look like a settler. No kidding.
Begging your pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places.
True enough. I should get going.
As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers.
I can always use some extra help, so do I. Let's go then.
Excellent. I shall follow you. How may I help?
Okay, he's a real wizard. Middle letters minor missiles. Kalakov's sunless grasp. The caster's hand becomes so cold as to freeze what they touch. Does freeze damage to a target and reduces its accuracy. Fan of flames creates a cone of fire in front of the caster, causing burn damage to anyone in the area of effect. Archimere's dazzling light overwhelms anyone in the area of effect with a brilliant and bewildering pyrotechnic display, decreasing their will and leaving them dazed. Edit Grimoire. Oh, because he's of course a spell.
Huh?
I can't do
How may I
that.
help?
Well, that seems interesting.
Yeah.
I guess going into the inn wouldn't be a bad idea. Wizards have the ability to learn a staggering number of spells, but they are always limited to by the capacity of their grimoires. At any given time, a grimoire may only contain 4 spells of each level. Click on a spell on the right panel to remove it from the grimoire. Add spells to remove it from the grimoire. Add spells to empty slots by clicking on the spell in the left panel. Let's have a drink in the inn. I could use a drink. Beer. Innkeep. Best beer you've got. The floorboards are sticky with spills that no one has bothered to clean. Let's see. So, how's it going with the... Well, that's not helping much. Let's first check this. Some kind of brown slop is congealing in these dishes. It smells burned. Well, villagers are not going to be much input, so let's have a talk with the innkeep.
Hello.
Oh, greetings, and welcome to the Black Hound Inn. The innkeeper bows her head curtly. Please sit where you like. Would you like a drink or a room? We have 2 available at the moment. I'm afraid we can't offer much by way of a good meal today, she sighs, unless you're fond of cold porridge. I'd like to know more about the Black Hound. Really? Well, let me see. The actual building's been here for years, but the Black Hound's fairly new. We got a lot of new faces in here too, fewer than we used to, I'll admit. I used to work the tables, actually, until the old owner up and left. Nobody's sure what happened to him, even left his poor hound behind. That's the name, you see, the Black Hound. It's still sitting upstairs, pining after him. Poor old girl. Alright. I could use some reliable help. Do you know of anyone looking for work? Oh, well, I wouldn't say I can speak from experience, but we do have certain sorts of coming by looking for work from time to time. If you want to hire someone, I'd be happy to send them your way. Let me see what I have to work with. Level 1 adventurer. Well, that's not... I won't be able to get that guy.
How do you do?
Okay. Can I see what you have for sale? Alaf opens his mouth but seems to reconsider. Nothing for me, thanks. Of course, we're running a little short on goods these days, but we ought to have more soon. What does this do? Beer, milk, grain, camping supplies. Retrain character, party management. Ah! I'm familiar with it. From the party management screen, you can see what your allies are up to and when they aren't in the party. If you've assigned them to adventures, you can see how long it will take for them to complete their assignment. Recalling a companion or adventurer from a mission before it is completed will forfeit all of the potential rewards for that assignment. Okay. Well, I have things in the stash. Certain things I really don't need. Like free hatchets. Free I'll take that. There we go. That should do.
Hail and well met.
You only serve porridge? Olaf looks at you and shakes his head quickly. It isn't by choice, I assure you. We used to serve some of the finest meals in the Durwood. We've had a damnable run of luck is all. It's been a bad season for the crops and we're running low on supplies. I sent Tenfer up north to stock up. Tenfrith is our cook, you see, an artist with a good roast. But it's been days since he was supposed to return, and we haven't seen any sign of him. She sighs again. I've only taken over from the last owner myself. I don't know what I'll do if he doesn't turn up. I could try to find him for you. I know where he is. Really? Her face brightens. I'd be grateful to you if you did. He was traveling through the Valewood. It's probably nothing. A broken wheel, maybe. But I do worry. Alright. Find Tenfrith. Let's see what is in the back. Do they really just... They do just allow you in the back. That is actually kind of surprising. Spoons hang by the fire, coated in brownish gunk. Well, I'm not gonna be... I'll just leave that there for now. I don't know what the result is gonna be if I take... What about this barrel? Milk and grain. Can I just take it? No objection whatsoever! Nice. What does this table do? Let's see. Oh. Scroll of Fan of Flames. Development of a Crucible Knight. Part 2, Senior Ranks. I don't think they'll mind if I take this. These are named characters. Let's see if they have anything to say. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this woman's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. Reach out for the soul? You see a woman emptying her satchel onto her bed, taking stock of her inventory. Potions, bandages, tinctures, and herbs are scattered throughout her room, haphazardly. She bites her lip, head tilted to the side, considering. She begins to repack, one item after the other, careful deliberation undercut by shaking hands. Each item has a clearly marked place, but no matter how she repacks it, she isn't satisfied. The shaking worsens as she empties it out once more, one hand held to her mouth. Tears eke from her eyes as she gives up all semblance of order and shoves everything she can in the satchel, grabbing it and running out of the bare house. Straightening her back, she walks to the docks, chin high, eyes hard and red. A gangly young elf offers her his condolences, but she can't see him for the ocean ahead of her. She wanders the docks, offering her services as a doctor to any who will listen, anyone heading out on high tide. Less than an hour later, she watches her childhood disappear in the distance, a tiny speck of an island, and tries not to jump. Okay, that was weird. What about this? As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. My, this is a lot of info. You see a group of young men standing around a makeshift practice target. This man stands in the middle of them, explaining the construction and use of a bow. He holds it up, pointing out each part as he speaks about it and what it does. He then walks away from the target, telling them to remain where they are, and takes his place about 200 feet away. He carefully lines up his shot, explaining what he is doing as he does, and lets the arrow fly. It hits the target dead center, much to the surprise and delight of the boys near it. He smiles, walking toward the boys, talking about proper stands and how to most effectively hold a bow. A noise comes from the tree line near their practice venue, and he stops scanning the woods. Blue eyes squinting against the sun, a shadow moves, making its way through the forest behind them. He draws an arrow and lines up the shot, carefully tracking the motion of the hidden creature. Loosing the arrow, he wastes no time and quickly grabs another. The boys spin, watching the arrow fly into the forest, immediately lost among the trees. There is sudden, explosive movement in the undergrowth as the deer erupts from the tree line, running across the edge of the clearing. The boys laugh, turning to joke with the man about his lousy shot. They stop talking, seeing him holding the bow and leading the deer with a knocked arrow. They drop to the ground as he looses his last arrow, which flies true and strikes the deer right behind its shoulder, piercing heart and lungs and dropping it dead almost immediately. The boys stare at the deer for a few seconds, and then slowly turn to look at the man, newfound respect in their eyes. He smiles again and breathes a quiet sigh of relief. Well, that's just weird. But it's interesting to find out some information about these people. Roaches scatter and flee under the crates. Nice. Grab a drink, friend. Not much else of worth in this town, says the woman from Fane. Hey, we said we wouldn't mention Fane. Well, this is getting a bit weird. An inn guest. I don't think it's a good idea to start poking around in his stuff. Well, he's not exactly in a cheery mood, is he? What is in here? The Durwood, Part 1, Early Colonial History.
I'll get it open.
Another rapier, duelist's hat. Deslog Naja tip. Oh, come on, more of this stuff? As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. This is basically story time for me. You see a man soar through the air, hitting a nearby wall with a nauseating crunch. He doesn't get up. His attacker, a burly, clean-cut warrior with a carnivorous grin, turns and shoves his fist into the stomach of another assailant, removing another from the impromptu brawl. The bar is a whirlwind of elbows, knees, fists, and feet, with no end in sight, and he is in his element. In a corner, 3 smaller men speak quietly, throwing malicious glances at the larger man in the center. He breaks a chair over a tattooed head, cackling. The trio position themselves in 3 parts of the room, and with a terse they charge. Unfortunately for them, the man sees them coming. Something in his eyes burns brightly, and all 3 slump to the ground in an agony that's all in their minds. The burly man bows to a room of the unconscious and incapacitated before sauntering out off-key, whistle trailing behind him. Can I literally talk to everyone like this? Or see their past? Pretty much. As you... Yeah, again, we see his past. You see an emaciated boy in chains, black holes for eyes, staring sightlessly at a wall. A man in a dark coat walks in, a scroll and an oddly shaped quill in his hand. The boy glances at him expressionless, a corpse waiting for animation. The man clucks at him, disapproval clear in his tone. The boy stands, limbs hanging. The man takes the quill and begins to write on the boy's chest, copying sharp angular symbols from the scroll. The child doesn't flinch as the quill digs into his skin, drawing blood as it goes. The wizard finishes with a flourish and barks some arcane command, setting the symbols to glow dully. The boy cries out, knees hitting the stone hard, his chest burning black and red. Finally, the glow disappears, leaving only hard black scars etched into his skin. He slumps sideways, twitching, eyes fencing the back of his skull. The wizard grunts, kicking him on the leg on his way out. The boy lies on the floor until dawn, eyes still black like holes. The twitch is growing into convulsive shakes. Wait, is that seriously that dude's past? That is creepy. And this one. As you near, yeah, we get to see the past, this woman's past. I get it. You see a long, empty road cutting through 2 large crop fields. The air is silent and the land seems too still for early afternoon. This woman walks slowly on the road, leading a horse, curiously looking around. She seems to sense something wrong, but is unable to discern what it is. She stops, sniffing at the air, her nose high. Her brow crinkles as she casts about. about, looking for something. The air is clear, no clouds. She sniffs again, still looking around, confusing and clouding her face, mouthing a single word. Fire? She looks out across the fields, her confusion turning to fear. She holds her hand up to block the sun from her eyes and scans the fields again, not finding what she was looking for. She jumps onto her horse back, the fear quickly becoming panic. She kicks, sending the horse shooting down the path, which bends around some trees to where the farmhouse should be. She pulls up short, and horror now in residence on her face as she stares at the burned and charred mess that used to be her family's home. Tears well in her eyes as she kicks again, racing to the rubble. Okay, that's a bit grim. The Black Hound. That's the dog. This hound stares intently at the covered window, head cocked as if waiting to hear a particular sound. It looks up when you approach and whines a low note, tail wagging slightly. Pet the dog. The dog still thumps happily against the floorboards. Sorry, Gil. Don't think he's coming back. The dog whines softly again, head tilting. I could use a dog, why not? Well, you can come with me. Maybe we'll find him on the way. I don't see the problem bringing a dog. The dog's ears perk up. It trots over to you and barks happily. You have gained an item. Black Hound added to inventory. Wait. It's in my inventory? The small dog has a glassy black coat and an affordable disposition. She trots along at your heels, gazing up devotedly whenever you come to a stop. Okay, well, I guess we just go into this chamber of the inn or something? Or does this lead outside again? It leads to the balcony. And the balcony just... I guess what we can do to finish up is, for example, go... And then I told her, that's not the pistol! Ha! I get that joke. To be honest, I could use a rest first. This ale tastes funny to you. I bet they have better goldenrod chew. Ah! Text overlining. You think... Let's go... Oh, wait. The windows are clouded with the haze of accumulated smoke and... You ever been to Defiance Bay? With the roads like they are, I'll stay put. The Black Hound Inn. Let's get some rest. I could use some sleep. Though, yeah, why not? Let's get some sleep in. No. I'm not taking any chances here. Let's get that cook, shall we? Let's go get that cook then. I can talk to the other people around here later. First, let's get that cook. I know where he is, so let's go get him. Let's speed this up a bit. Valewood. Yeah, I know it takes 8 hours to travel to the Gilded Vale. Not the Gilded Vale, but the Valewood. Let's see if I can climb up here now. Ask Alaf to climb up. Alaf find... Never mind. Okay, so neither of these two are good enough to climb up here. Okay. Now I know where this dwarf is because I died last time. Here we go. Why would a bunch of thugs just want to cook? The young dwarf tending to the stew looks up startled as he sees you approach. He drops his ladle, spattering stew across the ground. What? The bandit turns. Get him, you dogs, and make sure our new cook don't run off. Help! Please! Help! No! One of the bandits gives Tenfriff a kick as they pass him, and he huddles. Alright, let's see what you can do. How does this work? So... okay, so yeah, you go for that. You go after this dude.
How may I help?
You continue to focus
How may I
on the
help?
bandits.
Huh?
Attack him. Let's do this. Damn. There we go.
Huh?
Let's see. Svev. Some coins. A lockpick. And we'll put this in the stash.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this bandit didn't have the best. A hood and a cape. And leather armor, but I prefer... Okay, so I got a cape and a hood. That looks pretty cool. What about you? You already wear a hood, right? And you have a cape, so no need for me to do anything else. But you can have the scroll, because I don't think I'm gonna have much use for that myself. Alright then.
Welcome.
By the flame, thank you! Thank you, thank you! I thought I'd be stuck cooking for these ignorant weasels for the rest of my life. Or until they were bored with me, I suppose. The Pasca sent you. She must be beside herself. I must get back at once. But listen, the next time you're in Gilded Vale, make sure to drop by the Black Hound. I'll let her know what you've done for me, and I'm sure she'll do right by you in turn. Oh, to be back at my oven again. You have earned a reputation. Reputations can be held with communities or factions in the Eastern Reach, and will affect how members of that group respond to you. In some cases, friends or enemies of those groups will also react to your affiliations. Helping a group will increase your positive reputation with that group. Harming a group will increase your negative reputation. It is possible to have a mix of positive and negative reputation with a group, if you help and harm them in equal measure. Late for dinner. Vegetable. Stiletto. Poultry, meat, rice, and the stiletto. The tent is empty, but for a pair of stained cloths and the stink of bodies or something. And more fruit. Why don't you take the fruit? Now, I remember the bear cave being around here, but I'm not so sure that's a good idea to go to yet. I don't know how's it... Okay, so that's how it's going with the experience. I'm not sure if fighting a bear is a good idea. I think I'll just leave it at this for now. I gotta say though, this game... I gotta say, I'm really interested in seeing how this is gonna go. It does seem I have minor fatigue, but that shouldn't be a problem. But I'll leave it at this, guys. See you in the next video. Hope you're gonna stick around for more of the adventures throughout Pillars of Eternity. Bye-bye!